Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon from beautiful Miami. Maybe good morning if you are on the West Coast. I think, Dustin, you are on the West Coast. Good morning or good afternoon if you are anywhere in the middle, anywhere in the world watching us. I hope you are having a very, very productive week and a beautiful day to be alive. Today, I'm super excited. I'm usually an excited person. The people who know me from the industry, from conferences, I am usually a person who's excited. But today, especially, I'm excited a lot for three reasons. The first reason is this conversation that we're going to have today with Dustin about how the industry, what we are doing, and the things that we care about as software vendors, the problems we want to solve for people, the things that keep us awake to come up every morning to the office and solve these problems. So this is super exciting for me. And the second thing is our marketing teams are telling us that registrations for this webinar are to the roof. So that's get us also super excited because it gives us a signal that we are saying the right things to you guys, everyone, the signal that we are really talking about the problems that are painful for the people in the industry and the things we are hopefully trying to solve. So that is super, super exciting. Again, registrations are to the roof. And the third thing is because I have Dustin. Dustin DeVan, he is the CEO currently for Ediphi. But Dustin comes from a background of construction tech. Dustin, again, I'm not going to steal your thunder, Dustin. But Dustin, in the past, founded a construction tech company, successfully exited a construction tech company. And from my experience, people like Dustin come with a lot of scars, a lot of knowledge, a lot of experience, connections, and because he has been in the construction tech space for a very long time, before anybody did these things. Like, I don't want to make you look too old, Dustin, but
I'm kind of old.
But Dustin has been doing this for a super, super long time, and it's a sentiment that we are building modern tools, and people like Dustin again have been doing this for a long time. Dustin, at least for me, you are an inspiration. So thank you for coming today and spending the time. We will obviously talk about a lot of beautiful things. And I don't want to be too cocky about it. You are very known in the industry, so maybe everybody knows you. But let's, for the new people or for the new blood that hopefully we also as modern tech tools are attracting to the industry, because obviously our industry is lacking talent, and hopefully we are playing a role with building modern tools. Give us 30 seconds, a minute intro about yourself, Dustin. I think it will be very valuable. I'll give an intro about myself, and then we'll jump directly into the main butter of the conversation. How about that?
Johnny, whatever coffee you're drinking there in Miami, will you ship me some? Because I need to bring that energy to everything in my life. Holy hell, man. Every time I talk to you, you're infectious with your energy. Yeah. So
Thank you, Dustin.
I really appreciate it. I've been doing construction tech a long time. A lot of people know me because I was the founder of Building Connected. A lot of people know my story. I was a general contractor. I left the industry to found that company, and it became wildly successful. I think most people in commercial construction use Building Connected, and I haven't touched it in 7 years. And we know Autodesk bought it, and then I ran construction strategy there for a couple years. So ultimately, I'm a much better operator than I am in a large organization. So trying to solve problems in pre-con once again. And Ediphi is everything that we wanted to do with Building Connected, but never got an opportunity to. We're trying to solve some fundamental problems and trying to partner with amazing tools like Togal. Togal handles analyzing the drawings and quantifying the drawings, and is working in the AI space longer than most of the companies that have been around. I feel like I hear a new one pop up every 5 minutes. So we're partnering with anyone and everyone, but we're starting with the people that have been doing it the longest and have the most of the industry adopting them, and
Yeah,
that's Togal.
yeah, for sure. Thank you so much, Dustin. I will again tell a little bit about myself and then share some of the slides we're going to be going over. But my name is Johnny. I am currently the head of revenue at Togal.AI. I've been in the company since day -1. Actually, been part of the founding team. I don't have the same experience and the amount of experience of Dustin, but first worked on the product side for the first 4 years. I was an estimator myself. I am also from the construction industry. Spent a lot of time building the product, and then I was asked to run the revenue team. And now we are like 30 people only in the revenue team, and we are selling a lot. But that's not the topic of the conversation. I'm gonna share my screen. Dustin, can you see my screen?
We're up live.
Okay, we are up live. Okay, so this is our initial screen. I didn't want to pull it because I wanted the people to see us and see the energy. But anyway, let's jump directly into the topic of this webinar. It is about that we called it the tech handcuff, Dustin, that people don't know that they are wearing. And the whole idea is that people usually are used to working, doing everything in one platform, and sometimes people do takeoffs and estimating in one platform, but then they don't realize this handcuff that we discussed. So maybe you start with the reason of why do you think that that is a handcuff, especially in the use cases that we are tackling, estimating and takeoffs.
I mean, it's a systemic problem everywhere. Everyone wants to buy the dream of the universal solution that solves all problems and you don't have to do anything. And I think that's why people want estimating and takeoff so married together. The problem is that both of them have entire companies working on the solutions, and it's very hard for a company to be the best at two very different scopes of work. How you treat analyzing documents for quantification requires many people working very hard to solve that problem. And how you manage estimating a project from idea to GMP requires an entirely dedicated company to building a very elegant solution. And so the idea that one company is going to provide you the best experience in both domains is very, very unlikely. And I think that while I only have to buy one thing, you're sacrificing a little bit on each side of that equation if they try to be the best at both. And today, it's easier than ever for companies to actually make data interoperable. And agents are making that easier. APIs are more abundant. And so we believe that at this point in time, rather than buying a tool that's a Swiss Army knife, you're going to buy the tool that's specific for what you're trying to do. I mean, in construction, we are very specific to how we buy out a project. We should be very specific that we're buying the right tool for the right application. And in no situation is it more important than pre-construction. Pre-construction is how you make money.
Exactly.
How you make money, you should give your estimators, your pre-con teams, the best tools for exactly what they're doing. And the best tools are not the hybrid model that, hey, we can do everything in one thing. Does it work well? No, but it's everything in one thing. No. Be amazing at quantifying your project, be amazing at estimating your project, and have those vendors working together. And that's what we're doing.
Yes. And just to add on Dustin's point, I will try to explain it from our side of the vendors, on the vendor side. Like even internally, let's say at Togal, we had a lot of people like saying, "Oh, the customer wants an estimating tool with the takeoff tool," and if you are not from the industry, like especially if you are like a software developer or product manager not from the industry, you think, oh, but the customer is asking for it, but you don't understand that not all takeoffs are the same and not all estimates are the same. Estimating is not to just put a number to a quantity and like Dustin again.
If only that was it.
If only that was it. You have subcontractor numbers, you have VEs, you have alternates, you have million other things that go into building an estimate. And us, let's say at Togal, we had this internal wrestling of like, why not? And I was always saying, no, we do not want to build an estimating tool because a company that does construction in Florida does estimating very different than a company does construction in Tennessee. A painter in Florida does takeoffs different from a painter in somewhere else. So estimating is a little bit much more nuanced than people think it is. That building it and think that it will serve everyone, it is just a false idea. Same thing on the takeoff side. Like we spent 7 years building a takeoff tool only, you see, and we know the nuance, we know exactly how the estimators like to hold their coffee while they are flipping their drawings, and we build the tool based on these feelings and psychologies. And that's why, again, I think Dustin and myself have very very hard opinions about these, that these are very difficult problems, they are very nuanced, and if you think like one software will have both of them together, it's usually a huge expectation that is unrealistic as well.
Well, I think it's funny because we're in the estimating space, and I can tell you today that every single GC firm in the entire world still uses Excel spreadsheets on the side. That means they haven't built no company has ever built a complete estimating tool. So why are they going into another space until they've solved all their problems in their own space? I think that's the litmus test. Why move to a different domain until you conquered one single domain?
A
And
hundred
that's what we're trying
percent, a hundred
to
percent. And before Toggle, I worked for a
do.
construction company like $2 billion a year, and like Dustin said, everything related to estimating is in Excel. And the reason
And
why is
even if they have an estimating tool, they still have Excel. They're
they
doing
still
some
have
other thing.
they still have Excel, and the reason is that Excel is like flexible. They can do anything, but they lose the consistency of the data. They lose so many things. The collaboration, uh, s- sharing Excel documents between each other, and the Excel is locked and doesn't lock, and opens and doesn't open. Uh, but yeah, I don't know if there is anything else, Dustin, you want to add on this topic.
No, I mean, I think people would get where we're coming from. Look, you got two organizations that are solely focused at being the best of breed of what they're doing. Um, that's a hard combination to beat.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I'll jump to the other slide. Yeah, this is the question. I think also Isaiah posted the poll of the question of the answer. Dustin, before I go about of what we do great, you are very also you have a lot of experience on this. You call it the no man's land. I shared this slide. Can you touch a little bit on this, especially that again you have been doing this for some time?
Yeah, I mean, everyone wants an estimating tool to integrate with their takeoff tool, and no one, most companies aren't even standardized on what their takeoff tool is. The problem is usually you're not directly integrating straight to the estimate. And that's that no man's land. You will get a new set of design documents. You go from one design milestone to another, and you'll start taking off the drawings. But you had an existing estimate. And so after you do your takeoff, bringing that data in requires this data cleanse or this data mapping exercise to happen where you might be adding some line items, you might be overriding some quantities might come in, but they need to be assessed with formulas because you're doing some other stuff. So it's never a one-to-one. What's in the takeoff is represented in the estimate. And remember, usually you're not starting from a blank estimate. You're starting from, oh, we already had a design milestone, new documents are in here, how does it update with the existing document? And so that no man's land is actually what we are filling in the gap with our integration with Togal, is so that you can move from what you took off, map it directly into what exists in your estimating tool, and do any data manipulation you need to do so that it comes in correct.
Yep. And again, there is a very important point that Dustin is talking about here. Is not every classification in a takeoff is a line item in an estimate, and this mapping is, again, it's a sophisticated thing. And we will show today. We have a short video as well, like a 3-minute video showing a little bit of how the integration is right now, and then maybe also we can touch Dustin and myself of the future of this integration and how we are approaching it. Dustin, the next slide I wanted to talk about, which usually is what here, I'll go to this slide.
Mhm.
It is basically what we do great, and maybe tell us a little bit high level about Ediphi. But before we do that, maybe you know what? Tell us a little bit about Ediphi, and then let's touch on the web-based. The fact that both our tools are web-based, and how is that going to bring, or is already bringing benefits to the customer at the end of the day?
Well, the fact that we're born in the cloud, which should be table stakes but isn't in pre construction, means that anyone can have access to it at any point in time. There is no downloading something to your desktop. Downloading something to your desktop means you're a desktop app. You can synchronize that with the cloud, but that is not the definition of being cloud software. That also means we can rapidly improve our product. There is no reinstalling people on different version controls. We have the ability to scale, and if you're with us, you'll see we're releasing new features all the time. That's a huge advantage because when you buy software, you don't buy the software for exactly where it is, it's where they're going as well. And if your vendor is stuck in the desktop, they're capped at where they can go. Then the second differentiation between Ediphi and really anyone else is we don't want to just support estimating when you have 100% CDs. That is highly detailed quantity takeoffs. But we want to help support estimating from the first time you get a concept or you're talking to a client, and that requires a cost model, or you get some schematic designs, or you're doing parametric and programmatic estimating, so that you can properly estimate from really idea to GMP, track how costs evolve over time, discuss what variances and the reasons why, and support the VE value management decision-making process in order to get the project to a price the client can afford with a program that's going to meet their pro forma. And all of those things are not things that other estimating tools even talk about. So yeah, it's very, very different. I can tell you, I have people that come to us from every single other estimating tool, especially desktop tools. And once they actually dive in, they're like, holy hell, this is fundamentally different than anything we've ever seen.
Yep. Yep.
I mean, I don't care what software you're using, WinS, Sage, Beck Destiny, Excel spreadsheets. If you came to us, I can show you a brave new world, to use an analogy, that's going to blow your mind on what we're taking this.
I didn't expect that. When we started Toggle, we were focused on, we want to build like a takeoff tool. And then with time, we started working with some of the biggest GCs, and some of the VPs were telling me, you know what, I care less about your takeoff tool. My people will use the takeoff tool, but I want the web-based part of it. And I was like, what? And then we were like, oh wow, web-based. And then what could we do with web-based? And the thing that I am sure you guys have it inside the Ediphi is the ability to collaborate as well. Like multiple people are working in real time on the same file. Is it the same drawing for us in Toggle? Is it the same estimate with the right permission? Somebody forgets where they save the file on their G drive. Call your dad, call your mom. You see, this happens all the time with desktop apps. It does not happen with web-based tools. And again, Dustin knows the value of this from the beginning when they started Ediphi. We didn't know because again we didn't exit a successful tech company before that. But web-based, being web-based is huge for the industry. And like Dustin said, if you come to as well to Toggle, just see what's the difference between the desktop app and the web-based app, and you will think it's like this is like a sliced bread. But again, there's so much value on the web that we can unlock. Anything else, Dustin?
I just want to say it doesn't stop there. If we're really talking about precon is right now stuck internal to your organization, but how many projects now are going IPD, design build, joint ventures, and a proper precon? Really, at some point, you're going to have multiple stakeholders, not just in your organization, but outside your organization, that should be able to converse on what's the source of truth for the takeoff, what's the source of truth for the estimate. We've never been able to enable that before. I can tell you right now, we have joint ventures going through Ediphi. We have owners that are having GCs work in the same place, CMs with GCs in the same location, so that everyone can be agreed upon what's the source of truth, where people are at. You don't have to move data from your estimate to another platform to talk about your VE. That's insane. You end up with mixed match numbers.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and I want to say something also. Please add your questions because we're going to leave 7 to 5 minutes at the end of the day for Q&A. So add your questions in the Q&A. Isaiah is triaging them, and Dustin and myself will answer them. We have this, again, final slide before we show you a video of the integration. It is again about the problem of all-in-one, which again we touched on, but I'm just gonna read the titles. like all-in-one platforms, they were built for like checking the box. Like somebody in procurement says, hey, we want to buy a software that has everything, and oh, does it have estimating, does it have takeoff, and you check the
Yeah.
box. People don't really go into the nuances and the details of what these tools do. Their roadmap is your roadmap. Again, innovation happen on their schedule also, like Dustin said.
Or it
uh,
doesn't happen at all.
or it doesn't happen at all with desktop apps. It takes so much time with desktop. Your IT people will hate you, because with desktop app they have to reinstall everything on people's machines. With web-based tools, we do the updates, and nobody even knows that the update was happening. And the switching cost, uh, it happens because the switching cost happens because it's so hard for you to leave the tool because you are stuck with the desktop stuff. However, the value comes on the web because we are always improving the tools. We are always adding new features. And yes, hopefully we touched enough on that. Anything else you want to add there, Dustin? I want I want you to spend me and you spend time with Q&A. So if you have
Yeah, yeah,
anything
yeah.
else,
Let's just show let's show the video, and
let's
then
show
we'll
the
take
video.
some Q&As. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. We even missed this one. But again, I'll go over this very quickly. The idea of our integration is you do your takeoff in Toggle. We have this integration where you, like Dustin said, you can map your quantities to your line items inside your estimate, and you automatically can move them into Ediphi. What I will show you right now is a video of the current state of this integration. It is the first release. Just remember that it's the first release. It's just because a lot of people asked us about this integration, and we wanted to move fast. We wanted to see exactly the nuances of it before we build a full-fledged integration. Because in software, the last thing you want to do is build products for your ego. We want to build products for users' needs. And I will play this. There should be sound. If there's no sound, Dustin, please let me know. And I will
Yes.
play it. It's only 3 minutes, so let's do that. 2 minutes, actually.
My name is Jacob
Please
Simon. I'm a
blow it
solutions
up.
engineer here at Ediphi, and today we're going to be taking a look at the new Toggle Ediphi takeoff integration. So starting out, I'm inside of a project inside of Ediphi, our apartment
Okay.
high-rise project, and we're going to click on an estimate that we'd like to bring takeoff into. As we can see right now, I already have some items with some quantities and unit costs, but let's say we want to bring more of those items in from Toggle. We're going to start by going into our last mile add-in, which is our Excel add-in. Primarily, this has been used in the past for reporting, but now it's also home to our new takeoff integrations. So starting out after you log into your Ediphi environment within this add-in, we're going to go to the Data tab and select a project and an estimate that we'd like to load. From there, we're then going to add a data source, and that data source, as we can see here, is going to be Toggle. Here we can see all of the projects within Toggle, anything we'd like to pull up, as well as the drawing sets within those projects. Clicking this is going to load that data from Toggle. If I want to take a closer look, I can click on this Open Toggle Project button here, which will take me right into that project where I can see all my drawings. I can click on them, I can see my takeoffs, and modify them if I wish to do so. From there, if I go back into our last mile add-in and click on this review button, this is going to show me anything that's been updated since the last time I imported this data in, anything that's brand new that I'm adding into that estimate, and anything that isn't linked to our UPC. With Ediphi, we link your unit price catalog to the Toggle library, so that way you can use those items and have those unit costs every time you bring them into an estimate. If that item doesn't exist inside of that library, maybe it's a custom item you created in Toggle, it'll give you that warning for no UPC link. That way you can know then to add that to the database and add it to the Toggle library. That way you'll have those unit costs in the future. But if all this looks good, I'll hit submit. I'll see that it says I've successfully imported 7 items to my high-rise condo sample. I'll click OK. And it'll take me right back into my estimate within Ediphi, where I can see all of my updated information and again, all of those unit costs. And that is the Toggle Ediphi integration.
There you go. And
Yeah, so Johnny, what you were exactly saying is we're proving the concept of how to manipulate the data in Excel because we could do it, but they're actually direct integrations. We're just using Excel as a medium to do the data cleanse. and then we'll move it natively into the application. And then in the future, we're going to be working on getting like rooms, because Ediphi has the ability to map rooms, units, building geometry, some other stuff. But it's a stepping stone. We want to show incremental value as fast as possible while we build towards a better future.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And before we jump into the Q&A part, what I want to do, again, we have 5 more minutes, is if you are a current Ediphi customer or a current Togal customer, if you want to see this integration or you want us to show it to you, reach us to either one of us. We can set up a time with each other to show you the integration so you can test it. Again, the biggest thing, like Dustin and myself are saying, is we want feedback. We want to make sure this is what exactly people want, and with time we will make this more natively connected. Maybe most probably it will be outside of Excel. It will be even more seamless. We want to move away from copy pasting. Basically, that's what we want to do. Let me see the questions. You want to answer some questions, Dustin? Okay,
Sure.
here, there you go. The questions are popping up in front of us here. You can see them.
Yep. Who had to change your data architecture to accommodate the integration, or did you find a way to map the fields? We didn't have to change our data architecture. That's the beauty of this. That's why we did the mapping process, which is that intermediary step. We don't want to have to, we wanted to also build something that was malleable. So there is no data architecture change between Ediphi and Togal. We take what you send us from Togal and we map it to what we know, and we suggest things that, you might consider.
Yep. When will CAD files integration be added, and will add AI that looks up automatic pricing? So if you are asking this for the Togal side, we already have a way to upload CAD files into Togal, like DWG files. So if you are already a Togal user, Hani, I don't know, let us know and we can show you how that will work. And will you add AI that looks up automatic pricing directly from domestic? Dustin, I think more that's for you. We don't have pricing inside Togal, like I said.
Yeah.
With the takeoff tool, but Dustin, maybe you can.
Well, I think that this is one of those things that sounds great in theory, but I can tell you firsthand, no one prices this one thing the exact same way. I know for a fact subcontractors give a different price to one GC versus another GC. So if you want us to price it for you, then we gather data as you build estimates in order to help you price in the future. But pricing is personal. It's right now, it's not a marketplace. It's what you can get.
It is very personal. And if I can touch on this, like these tools that give international and domestic pricing, honestly, I only use them in university. I only use them in university when I was doing my estimating senior project. Like Dustin said, like if you are a general contractor, pricing is heavily on historic data of your own market, your own subcontractors, your relationships with them. Dustin is saying some stuff like, again, subcontractors can price the same thing differently for different general contractors based on how much they like working with them, how much easy. So these things are very nuanced. But again, as Togal, on the Togal side, we are focusing on takeoffs. For Ediphi, I think Dustin answered the question.
Not they can, they do.
They do.
Yeah, they do.
They do. Dustin knows for sure they do. Okay, let's see. Can Togal.AI help with specific takeoffs? I'm working with marble field. No, so I need specific takeoff. Okay, so inside Togal, again, I don't want to take too much time on this specifically for Togal, but inside Togal right now, we are releasing new features that are called specific takeoffs, or what do we call it? I forgot the name. I'm so sorry. The product team showed them to me. Now we are creating takeoffs that are very, very specific. Like if you are a painter, Togal will know that you are a painter and will do specific takeoffs for you automatically. So these are all coming, Amani. So if you are a Togal user, let us know. We can show you stuff from the product side, things that haven't been released yet. We have 1 more minute. If you have a breakdown in Togal for different parts of the takeoff, Dustin, maybe you can answer that question. I think so. Yeah, I think yes.
Yes. You're going to be able to bring those all in. Short answer. Let's get through the questions. Yes.
Short answer. That way we can take more questions. How do you handle import from multiple estimates working on different takeoffs with the same project? Inside Togal, if the question is inside Toggle, in Toggle we have this collaboration tool where every estimator gets their own view. You can go to the bottom and choose combined view, so it combines all the estimators. If this question is for Dustin, I don't know, Dustin, if you have a context for
So
it.
that's part of the curation process. If they brought in the whole thing, they can select which ones actually go into the estimate. So they might only confirm the ones they know, and then they can leave everything else out. So they get to select what takeoffs they want to bring in before it actually goes into the estimate. That's the part of the curation process.
Okay, what led you to pursue the partnership instead of building? Oh, Dustin, answer it yourself, because again we are at time.
Yeah, we just talked about it.
talked about
Takeoff is a never-ending endeavor, and so is estimating to do it really well. Until we've conquered the world in one, it doesn't make a lot of sense to go into the other. And then we just looked for a partnership with who we thought were the most capable, and it was a natural fit.
And from our side, like, we believe there's still so much for Toggle to do in takeoffs for the next 5-6 years, whatever. So we want to really focus. We want to focus on something. We believe in the power of focus. If you focus on one thing, you can make it great. That's the reason. And then again, we needed an estimating tool that's web-based. There's not many of them. There is Ediphi. Everybody talks about Ediphi. That was the reason. I will stop taking questions because we are already late on time. But Dustin, if somebody wants to go and get a demo from Ediphi, again, 30 seconds, where do they go? What is the name of the website?
Ediphi.com. If you fill out you want a demo, we'll get back to you that day. If you want to email me personally, Dustin, Dustin, at ediphi.com, and I'll respond.
Thank you. And
I'm also on LinkedIn all the time. So just
and from the Toggle side, you just go to Togal.AI, Togal.AI, book a demo, and somebody will reach out to you very quickly. Dustin, thank you so much, man. Again,
you're the best.
I cannot talk much. Thanks for everyone attending. We really appreciate your time. We don't take these lightly. Hopefully, we can keep improving the industry. And again, thank you so much for your time. Thanks, Dustin.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, bye.